Welcome back everyone to Battletech Advanced 3062 and our Irby Derby campaign. We are still in clan space working for Clan Novacat, but this time our enemy is Comstar. We have found for the second time ever the Mystery Machine mission, which means that this 30-tonner here will be the most vicious little 30-tonner that we'll ever face. And before we get going, I do just have to say, this is a desert biome and a dust storm, but look at that lake. That's some cool visuals right there. There's this little shallow section, there's a deeper section, and it just, with the dust storm overlaid, it just looks really sort of just awesome and strange. So there are enemy escorts as well as the target mechs, which is this 30-tonner and a 95-tonner, probably a Night Star, is my guess. But the enemy escorts appear to be slightly out of position. So maybe that's something we can make use of, handle the Night Star, handle the 30-tonner, before they get there and deal with them sort of as the mission progresses. So first things first, let's get the Centurion on the move. We'll get vision on our opponents, just confirm what I think is going on. They are standing in the water, but yep, that's a Night Star. I should have a couple pieces of him unless I sold it for just cash. And that's the Palace. Triple super medium laser, quad heavy small laser clan version. And we have 3 pieces of this. We need 2 more in order to bring 1 online for ourselves. So not a very good shot. We're going to go onto split fire mode and we're going to save our SRM ammunition. 11.3 is not good enough even with the Artemis 4. We only have 100 rounds, which is less than 10 full volleys. So let's see if we can maybe land a lucky shot. Hey, there it is. That's the first time I've ever gotten a lucky shot like that, but yeah, okay. So 30 damage going in, and that Palace, I mean 520, that's such heavy armor for a light mech like that. I mean, that Hellbringer we were looking at the other mission, 65-tonner with 680 armor, it's not exactly a fortress. So I frankly think the Palace could probably take on a Hellbringer and come out on top. Okay, Drillson hover tank. Oh, I hate tanks. I absolutely hate tanks. I haven't even been able to bring myself to field one just because I hate tanks. So we'll have to see if I can do something about that just irrational hatred of all things tank. But well, I'm not exactly expecting much to come from that. Not a very good option here for getting a shot, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to sensor lock the Palace. This will strip it down to 6, which will make it better for us to shoot at them if nobody else moves up into our vision. And worst case, we can just deal with whatever evasion he gets after he moves. I think this is going to be him, or it's another tank. One of the two. Shouldn't be the Night Star, it's taking too long to process, which means there's a lot of possible movement options. And there were a lot of possible gun options, but the gun option delay was somewhat streamlined years back with a simplifying case. Basically said, group everything together. Oh, it's another Drillson. Oh man, I really just don't like tanks. They have so much evasion, those Drillsons. They're very lightly armed, but still relatively heavily armored. If we take a look, 564 is no slouch, and with 6 evasion pips to chew through, that can certainly take some doing. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to turn on our bracing cockpit, and now we're shooting 50-50 at the Drillson. We're shooting 30% chance at the Palace. Kind of hope for better. I think we might be best off shooting in at the Drillson over on this side. 63% chances with the Thunderbolts, and 40 with the PPC. The PPC that has worse accuracy, by the way, is because the first 2, well, there's one on either arm, and then that last one is in the CT. So the ones on the arms benefit from lower arm, which gives +1 accuracy. We do, of course, have 1 lower arm actuator in each Atlas, but the CT does not. So there will always be a slight accuracy difference there, unless we're so far over that we cap out at 99.1% chance to hit. So we're going to move our Crab up. This guy is just there to take a beating and carry a C3 Master, and you can kind of see that in his accuracy, which is just frankly shite. Let's take a look. Burning way too hot for that accuracy, so let's go down to 4. Although, yep, another CT mounted pair of ER mediums in the Crab. Debating getting rid of those and putting in a the drop collar thing so that we can call in tanks and battle armor, which I think would be pretty nice. Let's get moving up here. I want to be going toward the water so that we can engage inside the water, which will help us be a little cooler on this biome. And what we're going to do is we're going to try something here. I'm going to shoot at the Drillson, and I'm going to hope that I miss horribly and hit the palace. So let's take a shot. Yeah, I mean, we landed a couple missiles on the palace from that, so, you know, never stand too close together. It looks like the supporting escorts are just entirely tanks. Very, very disappointing. That's kind of obnoxious. Okay, well, only 10 rounds in the Marauder and no good shots, so we're going to just wait there. And I'm a little worried. I mean, we've moved everything. I just brought 6, but the Palace and the Night Star still haven't had a chance to go, which is annoying to say the least. It means there's probably 6 tanks we have to deal with on this drop. Not ideal, but not the end of the world either. Okay, that's the Palace. Triple medium laser, well, super medium laser, I guess. Shooting in, and no joy on those, fortunately. Oof, okay, Night Star also shooting in, and our King Crab with only 4 evasion pips is somehow managing to hold on. Now the Palace didn't move that far, only 2 evasion there, but he is moving on 7. Night Star has no evasion, he's moving on 3. So we have choices. I'm not going to move the Crab yet. Let's reserve. They're reserving. Good. Come on, take the bait. Take the bait this time. Dagnabbit, I wanted them to keep reserving down. I want that Palace with 2 evasion pips only, so that we can see right through them with our TTS missile evasion on the Atlas. That would have been pretty wonderful. I think it's probably going to get moved. This is probably another one of those tanks. It takes absolutely forever compared to Max with reasonable movement speeds. Come on. Ho-hum. Ho-hum. Oh, not exactly my best quality, but I'm occasionally rather impatient. Yeah, I mean, I just don't really quite know what to do during this. It's probably one of the tanks in the back, and he's analyzing, okay, if I go here and I shoot, and I go up there and I shoot, oh, nope, that one right there. Coming right up close to us. It's going to be close to within kick range, so I might be able to get something good done. The good news is, I mean, as soon as one of those tanks makes a mistake with its positioning and drops a couple of pips of evasion, we can usually bore through them relatively quickly, and that'll improve the processing time as well. So it's not the end of the world, it's just certainly a little bit unpleasant to have to deal with. This is probably one of the other Drillsons. And the thing is, there aren't any options for that, so I can't go in and turn off, okay, well, I don't want to see these sorts of tanks, I don't want to see this, that, or the other. I might be able to mod it out myself, just, you know, delete that entire tank from existence. And I might do that for the next campaign, because while it certainly can be good for variety, there's no reason that this mission should be taking as long as it is, and it's just those tanks sitting there with the progress wheel spinning, not really getting anything done, and then sitting there with 6 evasion pips, making it near impossible to kill. At least the ones off screen have much better processing time generally because they're far enough away that the AI answer is easy, move toward opponent, and they don't have to necessarily consider all of the maneuvering that you would see from something closer by. Okay, so the other thing to consider is that once we destroy the target max, we can just get to evac. There's nothing keeping us here necessarily. That's a pretty good shot with King Crab. Let's see. Not a great shot with the Marauder. Can I get anyone to kick this Drillson? Yes, I can. So we can actually kick him right there. Decent facing, and we could pop Battlelord too, but I don't know how that'll interact. Let's go ahead and narc on normal to improve our accuracy against this guy. And then this will hopefully limit some of the annoyances on this mission so far. There's the missiles. Narc detected, but no kill. Unfortunately, 3 armor hanging on and 25 internal structure. Not exactly healthy, but still alive. But, you know, he's barely breathing. Oh, old songs. Okay, so the Drillson is certainly an attractive option to shoot at if I can get a side shot, but I can't. Okay. Can you also kick? You can. Very well. Let's go in for kick round 2. Be the other side. It's kind of annoying. But if it lands on the front, which it might. 75. Not quite as heavy a kick as the Dervish either. I'm not totally sure why. But the improved binary laser did get there, and that's a vehicle down. Okay, that's not bad. So that'll speed things up as well quite a bit on the end turn while we're waiting for them to go. Now it does look like either the Night Star or the Palace is going to be moving. If it's the Palace, then we'll do 2 rounds of shooting at him before he gets to go again. Okay, it is the Palace. Super medium laser lands in. I think that thing is 50 base damage on a medium laser tonnage, which is just absurd. Very, very strong indeed. So let's reserve down. Here comes the Night Star. Gauss rifles going in. One of them landing on the Atlas, and we are building a little bit of instability. This Atlas isn't going to be moving very far, if at all, which means that we can sort of not be too bothered by that. Oh, that's excellent accuracy against the Night Star. It's really tempting. On the other hand, decent accuracy against the Palace. Alright, you know what? Let's get the Crab over here, since this is an easy decision. And let's kick. 102, very nice. Does look like that melee damage against vehicles is back to working properly. Probably wasn't just on mine for a little bit, just because, I mean, things can be quirky sometimes. Get the King Crab. I like him being in the woods, so let's move him up here. We'll sink our little bit of instability like that, and okay, that's such an excellent shot of the Night Star. I think we kind of have to take this, but I mean, with that said, the Palace is the prize. You know what? Let's go for the Palace. Oof. We landed 3 of those rotary Gauss shots. Pilot bleeding. 4 activations. Okay, we're not going to shoot the Palace. We're going to let him do his thing. We're going to let that pilot bleed out, because then we'll have all the salvage we could possibly need instead of risking only 1 salvage piece when we still need 2. Night Star, on the other hand, is now the main focus of attention, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4 plasma rifle shots. He is standing in water, so I'm not expecting the most out of that. But we can follow it up now with the Thunderbolts, and we pounded quite a lot into the CT. Maybe we can follow it up. There's the light PPC hits as well. Okay, that's a problem. The Palace is running. Where's his evac point? His evac point is behind us. I don't think he can get there in 4 turns, but it is something we'll have to watch. Let's get the Crab again and kick again, but first activate defensive formation. And now we can go into the kick, so we have 20% additional damage mitigation across the board. That's the second Drillson tank that's taken out, so only 4 of those original 6 that are left, which will also improve processing time quite a bit. Not bad at all. 3 salvageable parts. Okay, very well. And they're reserving. Do I want to move on 6? I think I do. Let's get the Marauder into the water here. And let's follow up on the Night Star. Precision strike, plasma rifles going in. Huh, we hammered him farther into the water. That's enough heat that even in the water, that Night Star is going to have some trouble. And that's certainly worthwhile. Now we do have the Drillsons moving as well as the Palace. Depending on how quickly he moves, we might have to go back to shooting the Palace. Would have been better if we had avoided having that structure exposed, because generally on assassination missions, the main target doesn't bug out until after you get structure exposed. That does remind me, one time, a long time ago, I had an assassination mission where I hurt the main target, and his evac point was, well, where he was already standing. So I was just sitting there going, yes, I got him, and he's bugging out, and he didn't actually have to move, and okay, I guess I lose. It's kind of obnoxious, but this one I think is a much better position for us. Light PPCs and Thunderbolts going into the Night Star. It was certainly proving how tough that design is. Looks like he's lost an arm, but he's over the red line, he's on his keister, and can't really be that happy. Now, what we just saw there is the AI will automatically stand up whoever's knocked down as soon as possible. So we are on initiative 1, and none of the other tanks moved because when they were considered for turn order, it said, okay, we need to stand this guy up. So that's why that happened so quickly. We unfortunately can't reserve anymore, and I had wanted to get moving over toward the other tanks, but I think instead, it's firing the Narc. Let's go for a Haywire shot on the Night Star. I don't think the Haywire will really matter, but I mean, he's still standing. That mech... Okay, pilot eject. 5 salvageable parts. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Maybe we can field a Night Star as well. I'm not entirely sure I'm sold on the design, but, well, it certainly adds to our reserve arsenal should we take damage or something like that as we increase mission difficulty once more. Okay, so that's 3 gone, and once again, those vehicles are just taking forever. A little bit of friendly fire there, so the Saracen hitting the vehicle in front of him. Hetzer, you know what? Let's just kill this thing. I think that will be a better thing if we can bug out. There's the kill. Evac is really far away. How many pieces? No! 1 salvageable part. We have 3. Well, we won't be able to bring that thing online. Oh, that's obnoxious. And entirely my fault, because the pilot was already bleeding out. There was no need to kill him. Certainly not that hard. I didn't think we'd core him out like that. Yeah, my mistake. Alright, well, let's shoot him in the wheel of the APC. Unfortunately, evac is far enough away. It will just be quicker to take out the remaining tanks. There's 1 of them down, so only 3 left, and the mission will be, well done and dusted. I will show salvage screen again afterwards, so keep in mind, stick around for that. So, we actually had a head hit there on the King Crab, but it looked like it was just a light missile, and it was, well, not very impactful. We were able to resist the injury just fine. Now our Crab here is going to move up. He's going to pop Vigilance to inspire the rest of the team, and then just click Done. So we have 3 vehicles, Hetzer LRM, Saracen with Streak SRM 2s, and a Hunter 3M with 3RM, which just carries an LRM 15 and some close range weaponry. Only the LRM 15 is really going to be able to put a scratch on us, and even that's not so much. So I'm not too worried about this from here on out. It's more of just a bit of an annoyance doing cleanup. With that said, so the Hetzer... Okay, these guys don't have that many pips of evasion, which means we should be able to land decent firepower on them on this round. Hopefully these guys just sit still and shoot, but now that I've said that, of course, they'll probably run all the way across the screen. Saracen, I don't mind that move, actually. It's not horrible. Streak SRM's landing in, Streak LRM's landing in, hitting up against my damage resistance there. And the Hetzer just moved 1. Here comes another LRM volley. I mean, they're concentrating fire on the King Crab, but it would still take them maybe 10-15 rounds of doing that before they'd really pose any threat, even if they all focused fire from here on out. So let's take a shot at the Hetzer LRM. That's done and dusted. Once again, those plasma rifles proving their worth against non-mech targets for the double damage modifier that they do receive. I'm going to have to move the Dervish over to get a shot on the Saracen. This is a pretty good shot. Let's go to normal so we can get an accuracy bonus if he does survive. SRM's on the way. Unfortunately, not quite enough to bowl through that Saracen's armor. Let's reserve down to 2 because I want to see what accuracy we can get off the Atlas. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, and the Hunter 3RM is healthier, so let's take the shots there. Hopefully those heavy thunderbolts. Yep, 80 damage a pop, plus the light PPCs, able to just bull through most of the armor on the front end side of that tank. So I'm going to come up, we're not going to do a rear angle shot. The reason for that is our side armor is mostly what we've already gone through on the Saracen. Yep, it's the only one actually that's taken any damage. Well, not any damage, but hardly any. Only one point of structure, because of course there was. But that tank is gone now too, which leaves only that last single survivor, and then we can get out of here and get our payday. So, let's see if Trashcan the man himself can finish it off. A little bit questionable accuracy, but yep, there it goes. Alright, that's the mission. Hang around for just a second and we'll go through the salvage. We have some decisions to make, I think. All targets eliminated. Mission successful. Okay, so 105,550 C-bills is not exactly a generous payout, but we do get our choice of 4 different pieces of salvage. So if you look, I don't have any of this type of Night Star anyway, and yeah, I only have 3 parts in the palace, so taking that won't get us a complete mech. C3 Master, I already have a couple of those. The cores aren't great. Okay, so here's what we do. I think what we go in for is all 4 Night Star pieces that we can grab, and if we cross our fingers really hard and hope maybe we'll get the 5th one with the bonus salvage. Let's take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4. We didn't get it, did we? It's not listed on the side there anymore. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, no joy. Alright, well that's the salvage. A little bit disappointing, but still pretty nice. Thank you all for hanging around. We'll see you again real soon.